Members, if you could press your buttons, green or red, whatever kind of mood you're in. Yeah.
Mr. Minority Leader, looking for do with a beer.
Hey.
Will the sergeants please close and lock the doors? Members, push your buttons to indicate your presence. Mr. Randall, please call the names of those members who are absent. And the sergeants, will you please locate those members?
You got this, man. You got this. I'm looking for the Obama boys, though. Let's get it.
Is it bad when I
That was good.
Would you like Representative Coleman's assistance in calling names? Okay.
Go back and forth. We should go back and forth.
Representative Coleman, please proceed.
Representative Benavides, you're just here, and now you're not here. You were just here. Representative Bockenfeld, you're not here. And Representative Buck, you're not here. That's right. Representative Liston, you've already pushed your button. I can't call your name. Representative Geithner. Representative Gray. Representative Hooten, please push your button. Purple, please. Push the purple button. Representative Humphrey. Representative Hawkins Lewis. And Representative McKean. Mr. Minority Leader. Thank you, sir. No. Representative Wilson. Frank. Thank you for pushing your button. People push my buttons all the time. And Representative Dave Williams. Representative Perry Will. Representative Valdez A. Representative McKean. If you wouldn't mind, please push your button. It does. Many things sound wrong. There are many things. It was the only. Exactly. I agree, Representative Catlin. That's what I was thinking as well.
Hello.
Not coming back, huh? Representative Benavides, please push your button. Representative Gray is excused. You're right. No excuses. Upstairs, hanging out.
Representative Gray is excused. Representative Jaquez Lewis is excused.
Representative Sullivan, please push your button. Thank you, sir.
Representative Coleman, do you want to raise the call?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I raise the call of the House. I move we raise the call of the House.
It has been moved that the call be raised. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say no. The ayes have it. The call is raised.
In case I have to restart roll calls.
Hey.
Thank you.
Who? Representative Geithner and Representative Will are present. Representative Williams, D. Is there an assistant majority leader or majority leader present? Oh. Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, members. Just a quick update. The committee report's being finished. We're going to go into a brief recess as everything gets ready. We're going to go into special orders. We're going to do one bill, and we will debate it and we will talk about it. And thank you so much for your patience. So, Madam Speaker, I move that the House stand in a brief recess.
Before we go into a brief recess, are there any announcements or introductions? All right, then we will, Representative Wilson. I knew there'd be one. Representative Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Just an update on the CHASA. I alerted my caucus, but I'm on that board of directors, so CHASA basketball games are still on with only the participants and 4 guests that are allowed. And also they have the option of forfeiting and not showing up at the tournament as we speak now. All spring practices for spring sports are suspended until April the 6th. There will be no music festivals or anything during that period of time. So that will be up to April the 6th, and they're having another meeting tonight or tomorrow to decide any more details. So that's the latest on your activities in your district.
All right, Representative Escar.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. One more friendly reminder. Appropriations is meeting at 8 a.m. tomorrow. If you're on the calendar and you're not there, we'll talk about if you're excused or not, because some of you may actually be sick and I won't want you there.
Any other announcements or introductions? Seeing none, the House will be in a brief recess. The House will come back to order. Mr. Randall, please read reports of committees of reference.
Committee on Energy and Environment. If here's the merits, the committee is following Senate Bill 90 be amended as follows. Now amendment be for the committee hold favorable recommendation. Senate Bill 124 be for the committee hold favorable recommendation. Committee on Finance. If here's the merits, the committee is following House Bill 1211 be referred to favorably to the committee on appropriations. House Bill 1218 be referred to favorably to the committee on appropriations. House Bill 1219 be referred favorably to the committee on appropriations. House Bill 1293 be amended as follows. And amendment be referred to the committee on appropriations favorable recommendation. House Bill 1324 be amended as follows. And amendment be deferred to the committee on appropriations favorable recommendation. Committee on Judiciary. After serious the merits, the committee recommends the following. House Bill 1271 be postponed indefinitely. House Bill 1188 be postponed indefinitely. House Bill 1292 be postponed indefinitely. House Bill 1359 be amended as follows. And amendment be referred to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation. Committee on Rural Affairs and Agriculture. After serious the merits, the committee is following. House Bill 1226 be amended as follows. And amendment be for the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation. House Bill 1328 be amended as follows. And amendment be for the committee on Finance with favorable recommendation. Committee on Transportation and Local Government. After serious the merits, the committee is following. House Bill 1151 be amended as follows. And amendment be for the committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. House Bill 1315 be amended as follows. And amendment be for the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation. House Bill 1339 be amended as follows. And amendment be for the committee on Finance with favorable recommendation. Senate Bill 132 be referred favorably to the Committee on Appropriations. Senate Bill 139 be referred to the Committee on Whole favorable recommendation.
Message from the advisor.
We hear with
Message from the
transmit.
advisor will be printed in the journal. Message from the governor.
Honorable
Message from the
members.
governor will be printed in the journal. Printing report.
Chief Clerk reports following. Bill
Printing
has been-
report will be printed in the journal. The House will be in a brief recess. The House will come back to order. Representative Tatone. Oh, we don't have a special orders calendar yet. We will do that first. Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move the following bills be made special orders on March 12th at 7:40 p.m. House Bill 1359.
Seeing no objection, House Bill 1359 will be made a special orders calendar at 7:40 p.m. on March 12th. Now, Representative Tatone, my apologies. You all have heard the motion. Seeing no objection, Representative Tatone will take the chair.
All right, the committee will come to order. With your unanimous consent, the bills will be read by title unless there's a request for reading a bill at length. Committee reports are printed in your bill folders. Floor amendments will be shown on the screen and in your iPads. Bills will be laid over upon motion of the majority leader, and the coat rule is relaxed. Mr. Stoka, please read the title of House Bill 1359.
House Bill 1359 by Representatives Garnett and Neville, also Senators Fenberg and Holbert, concerning modifications to party candidate designation requirements to accommodate public health concerns.
Minority Leader Neville.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move House Bill 1359 and the Judiciary Committee report.
To the Judiciary Report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Judiciary Committee report, we added some language clarifying that if they do actually go to remote voting, there's got to be a written record of it. I think the bylaws will be more prescriptive than what we added, but we just wanted to clarify that. And then a conceptual amendment clarifying that the assembly process, we allowed them in the bill to go for a period of 7 days, that it has to actually be completed by those 7 days so that we have time to make sure that we get the ballot language to the SOS in an appropriate time frame.
Is there any discussion on the Judiciary Report? Seeing none, the question is the adoption of the Judiciary Report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The Judiciary Report is adopted. To the bill, Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, members, for your flexibility today. It's an honor to stand here with Minority Leader Neville. We are certainly facing extraordinary circumstances to be before you tonight. What we are trying to do is address health concerns, and we're trying to address scenarios that we know are going to happen over the next few weeks on a very tight election calendar around assemblies where we know large groups of people are going to be gathering in schools, whether or not that's in auditoriums or whether or not that's in classrooms, and they're going to be in close contact with one another, and we know that these delegates oftentimes are the most at-risk populations. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to address providing the state parties flexibility to conduct their election calendar to the best of their ability while understanding that the way that we have done business in the past is going to create high risk for these at-risk populations. And so what we're trying to do is provide flexibility in how these delegate votes can be counted. But the reason that the state parties can't do this on their own is that they can't amend their rules per our statute in an even year. They can only do it in an odd year. So what we are doing is providing them the opportunity to amend their rules, to take into consideration the things that we're laying out in House Bill 1357, and then whatever happens is only temporary. It will expire in December 31st of this year. And so, again, a lot of work and a lot of stakeholding has gone into this bill, though it has moved through the process at high speed. But what it really does show is that when we are faced with tough challenges, we can come together in a bipartisan way and try to move forward with a solution together. So I'm honored to be here, and there will be a few amendments that are made, which makes sense under the time frame that we're working under. But this is a good, negotiated, stakeholder piece of legislation before you.
Minority Leader Neville.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I echo those sentiments. It's an honor to be sitting here with the Majority Leader and partner on something in a bipartisan way. Members, essentially what the bill does is it creates, if there's not the ability to actually meet in person, some ability for the assembly process to meet remotely. If they do that, they then actually have to create a record of that so that process can go back and be audited. Like I said, I think each party bylaw is going to be more prescriptive about teller committees and those specifics, but we do require them to maintain that record. And then after there's an amendment going to be forward first if all those things are exhausted. So they've tried to do the in-person voting, they've tried to do remote voting in every other way to make sure the assembly process, then only then, after they can show that all that's been exhausted, then they can actually go to a vacancy process if and only if the governor's office has declared a actual mandatory gathering prevention. So like we're looking at Washington State has issued a proclamation saying only 250 people, any gatherings larger than 250 people are prohibited. If that happens and they've tried to meet all the remote criteria, then they can actually do appointments by vacancy. And then if for some reason that doesn't work, because like in my circumstance, I think my vacancy committee is actually larger than my assembly is. If that doesn't work, same thing happens then, and if only then they still meet all the same criteria, then the state party chair could actually select it. So we've got several amendments, and I appreciate you guys and your flexibility as well.
Is there any further discussion on the bill? Representative Singer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And it's an honor to serve with you. And with that, I move Amendment L006.
It's an honor to serve with you.
You know what? I'm going to do 3 first, actually. I move Amendment L003. Daylight savings has me off.
All right. Amendment L003 has been moved and properly displayed. Representative Singer?
Yes. Yeah, well, they liked it so much that Representatives Garnett and the Minority Leader have also agreed to co-sponsor this. But so I know there's a lot of conversation right now about what is happening at the party assemblies. We know that the party assembly process is only one way to get on the ballot, and while it is an important, vital part of this process, there is also a petition component to getting on the ballot and providing, getting ballot initiatives on the ballot. If by any chance the COVID-19 shuts down our county clerk's offices before we can submit signatures by that signature deadline, we are basically granting an additional 2 weeks, which is the incubation period of COVID-19, to be able to make sure that our clerk's offices can actually receive those signatures so they can verify them and make sure they get on the ballot. So this is just creating parity between the assembly process and the petition process, and I ask for your aye vote.
Minority Leader Neville.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And yes, this is a friendly amendment. It just addresses a different way to get on the ballot, but I do see this as friendly.
Representative Liston.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Chairwoman, I rise in support of this amendment as one who has petitioned on. And actually this year, I think the way the petitions worked, you actually had 3 or 4 days less than normal because of the unique time horizon. But I think this is a fair and equitable amendment. I would urge an aye vote on this amendment.
Any further discussion on Amendment L003? Seeing none, the question is the adoption of Amendment L003. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Amendment L003 is adopted. Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move L005.
All right, Amendment L005 is moved and properly displayed. Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think I moved it, but I move
Yes, you did.
L005. And members, this is just in the extraordinary circumstance that something happens at the last second where maybe a school is closed or the venue that was going to host the assembly can't because of something that happened within that 10-day notice period. This provides flexibility on the 10-day notice.
Is there any, Minority Leader Neville.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And yes, members, I think each, district has their own bylaws on this, but this is a major concern. Say I'm having my county assembly at Douglas County High School, and on Friday there's a bunch of COVID cases and it gets canceled. And then we've provided more time within the bill, but in our circumstance, maybe the assembly is still not enough time to actually send out a new notice and a new call to a new location. This just actually gives them the flexibility to move quickly.
Is there any further discussion on Amendment L005? Seeing none, the question is the adoption of Amendment L005. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Amendment L005 is adopted. Representative McKean.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. We move Amendment L006 and ask for it to be properly displayed.
Amendment L006 is moved and properly displayed. Representative McKean or Representative Singer to the amendment.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This amendment deals with our minor parties. And members, this came up in the Judiciary Committee. I don't care if you are a Democrat, a Republican, a Libertarian, Green Party, DSA, WFP, Vegetarian. I don't think it matters. We should be treating every party equally. And what this does is it ensures that we're not only dealing with the major parties in this legislation, but treating our minor parties in a similar fashion. And this is what democracy should be about, and I'm very happy to move this amendment with Representative McKean to show not only our bipartisan support, but who knows, this could be tri- or quad-partisan support now.
Representative McKean.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Absolutely. We do not want to leave anybody out in this process because we need to move hastily. We do not want anybody to be left out of what they can do, especially if they have to have a large assembly. I urge an aye vote.
Any further discussion on Amendment L006? Seeing Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to thank the sponsors of this. When it comes to at risk of contracting or contracting COVID-19, it doesn't matter if you're a major party or a minor party, and the minor parties are going to be hosting big gatherings, and so this is a balanced way of giving them the flexibility to not put themselves at risk.
So any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of Amendment L006. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Amendment L006 is adopted. Anyone else? Representative Melton.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I move L008 and ask that it be displayed.
Amendment L008 is moved and properly displayed. To the amendment. Representative Singh.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, we just want to make sure that the Assembly is the highest form of expression for our parties. So we just wanted to make sure that Assembly is conducted, and if for some reason we just cannot physically gather for any reason, that remote participation is the next level, so we can provide an assembly even with the remote participation listed in the bill. Go ahead.
Representative Melton.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, this basically says that we have to, or the parties need to exhaust every single option before they go to the break the glass option of allowing the state chairs to determine the vacancy and therefore the appointments to the vacancy for the assembly. So with that, members, this is just some belts and suspenders. Happy to do this with my colleague from the other side, from the very far other side.
Oh, wait.
Right. And we would ask for an aye vote.
Any further discussion on Amendment L008? Seeing none, the question is the adoption of Amendment L008. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Amendment L008 is adopted. Representative McKean.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Folks, this is my last amendment. we now have in this bill where we have a prohibition from large activities, from large gatherings. We want to make sure that that prohibition is from the governor, because the governor convenes a task force. We want to make sure that the prohibition comes from the governor's office and the governor himself. That's all this amendment says, the prohibition from the governor. I urge an aye vote.
Pardon me. I know, I'm like, what?
Sorry, Madam Chair. I move Amendment L009 and ask for it to be properly displayed. Thank you, Representative Escar, who was looking for something to read.
I was looking for it too. All right, Amendment L009 is moved and properly displayed. Minority Leader Neville.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members. So it was kind of important for us to have if you look at the whole sections of how we lay out the bill of how the assemblies run and how giving them more flexibility to the assembly, and then you move to the actual section where you could allow a vacancy committee. We wanted to be actually absolutely certain that there actually has to be that call, like I mentioned earlier, that there's an actual prohibition on event sizes. It's my understanding the only person that can do this through executive order and executive action is the governor. This clarifies that, makes it crystal clear so that someone can't interpret this as just a local county giving out guidance and using that as a reason to forego the assembly. It does actually have to be an order from the governor. It's something that came up in judiciary, and I'm glad that they noticed it and pointed out, and I urge a yes vote.
Representative McKean.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. So, folks, this may be the only time that these two sponsors have come to judiciary and had this much activity on their bill and left unanimous and thanking the Judiciary Committee. And, Mr. Majority Leader, we are kind of having another Judiciary Committee here in the well, but I think we're done. I urge an aye vote.
Any further discussion on Amendment L009? Seeing none, the question is the adoption of Amendment L009. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Amendment L009 is adopted. Representative Melton.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, we're not quite done yet. I move Amendment L010 and ask that it be displayed.
Amendment L010 is moved and properly displayed. Representative Sain.
Look at his face. Thank you. And members, our last amendment went so well, we decided to do another. And this really truly brings parity in case remote participation, somebody doesn't have a phone, they don't have email, so they should be allowed to deliver by pogo stick.
Representative Melton.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, members, we want to ensure democracy for all. And in order to do that, we need to make sure that we open up every avenue to get these votes in. I ask for an aye vote.
Minority Leader Neville. Oh, Representative Latine.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I am beginning to deeply regret the pogo stick purchase. No regrets. So I ask for an aye vote.
Minority Leader Neville.
Madam Chair, I ask for a title ruling.
Title ruling has been requested. Representative Melton.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I withdraw Amendment L010.
All right.
But just know, had this gone through, then I would have read an amendment to say that county assemblies must be done on patios with dogs.
All right. Amendment L010 has been withdrawn. Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1359? Seeing none, the question is the adoption of House Bill 1359. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The bill is adopted.
Good job.
Majority Leader Garnett.
You don't need to do. Committee will rise.
Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
Committee will rise and report.
The House will come back to order. Mr. Gregorio, please read the report of the Committee of the Whole.
Madam Speaker, your Committee of the Whole begs leaked report has had under consideration the following attached bills, being the second reading thereof, and makes the following recommendations thereon. House Bill 1359 is amended, passed on second reading, and ordered, engrossed, and placed on third calendar for reading and final passage.
Representative Tatone. You all have heard the motion. There are no amendments at the desk. Mr. Gregorio, please open the machine and members please vote. Baisley, Byrd, Carver, Buck, Harrod, Jackson, Larson, Liston, Roberts. Please close the machine. With 54 aye votes, 5 no votes, and 6 excused, the report of the Committee of the Whole is adopted. Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, members, for your patience today, and thank you for everyone's hard work on that bill that we passed. Just a quick announcement. Tomorrow we will do a little bit of floor work, and then we're still talking amongst leadership in a bipartisan way to figure out the rest of the details in terms of what we're doing in days to come. But please remain flexible on Saturday morning if we end up coming in and doing a little bit of work. So if we find out more information, we will let you know, but that's what I know now.
So at least plan on Saturday morning and we'll know for sure more tomorrow. Representative Harrod.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Committee on Legal Services, we will be meeting tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. somewhere in this building. Yep. So be sure to be here, 8:30 a.m. We have one bill to vote on. We'll be sitting as a Senate and voting on the Rule Review Committee. Do you have a room number? 352. We're meeting in room 352.
All right, and Appropriations meets at 8 a.m. tomorrow. And are there any other announcements or introductions? Assistant Majority Leader Kennedy.
Ready for the adjournment, or do you need?
We can adjourn. Wait. Representative Escar.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I've been asked to give my little speech down here. If there's anything on your filing cabinets, let's not make our friends stay. Let's just get it off your filing cabinets and on your desk. Thank you.
Mr. Gregorio, please read message from the Senate.
Madam Speaker, the Senate has passed on
Message
third
from the
reading.
Senate will be printed in the Journal. Assistant Majority Leader Kennedy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move the House lay over the balance of the calendar until Friday, March 13th at 9 a.m.
Oh my gosh, tomorrow's Friday the 13th. Seeing no objection, the House will be in adjournment till tomorrow. Oh, I'm sorry. Seeing no objection, we will lay over the balance of the calendar till tomorrow, Friday, March 13th. Assistant Majority Leader Kennedy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move the House stand in adjournment until Friday, March 13th at 9 a.m.
Seeing no objection, the House will be in adjournment till Friday, March 13th at 9 a.m.